Good morning, Joyful Joints. Good morning. It's April Fool's. Yay! It's April Fool's Day. We are here to not be fooled. We are here sharing with you a system where you can start to perceive things more accurately, draw more accurate conclusions, not be taking things the first time you hear them and getting all excited and jumping in hook, line, and sinker just because somebody's telling you that the person telling you is like super popular, they've got lots of followers, everybody else is doing it. That's not necessarily mean that what they're asking you to do is going to work out very well for your own body and the way your brain and nervous system are set up. So always, if something's new to you, take time to look at it, to do the experiments yourself, right? You also can't say that isn't going to work if you haven't tried it. So welcome to Joyful Joints on April Fool's Day, where we are going to learn how not to be fooled. So this is an interesting time. We have done 6 months of our live YouTube Joyful Joints classes, and we took time to really hit the basics of all the different parts of the body. So if you go back and you start from month number 1, practice the exercises over and over and over again, that is actually enough to take you through the rest of your life. You will have enough information to really work with, and it doesn't change. It's just a matter of coming back through, starting at the beginning. You've heard the term or the song, everything old is new again, right? Well, every day we're new. So every day you can go back, and if you try something familiar, you'll start to notice it feels different today. All right, what's changed? What's shifted? What do I need in this moment? So that every day is a curious exploration of what we need and how we're going to show up in the world. So I'm really happy that we've been able to capture those 6 months. I feel like it's a very comprehensive list. So what we're going to do for the next 6 months is take Joyful Joints applied in specific types of exercises. So I'm looking forward to moving ourselves into exploring what is Joyful Joints like in Pilates. I have a lot of clients who were my Pilates students. I am a master Pilates teacher. I'm just not doing that right now. But these students were able to learn about their Pilates and what their body needs as far as physical cues. And now that I'm not teaching anymore, they're able to explore new teachers, gain what they can from them, but also carry with them the understanding of their own body in a way that allows them to get the most out of that practice. They know, I hear that cue that the teacher's saying to that person, but that's not the right one for me. So they understand, how can I use that for myself? So we're really excited for that. So the first thing we're going to apply Joyful Joints to is a system of exercises which is designed to, it says, cleansing physical exercises. So we're going to cleanse the body of certain, whatever it's contaminated with. And these exercises, I'm going to come and show it to you, are from the book, Your Hands Can Heal You. So this is by Master Stephen Coe and Dr. Eric Robbins. They wrote this, Your Hands Can Heal You. And the exercises we're going to be working with for this month are called the cleansing physical exercises. So I believe it's chapter 10 in this book, where you can find the list of exercises we're going to be practicing and investigating. And then you can read up on all the other things that those exercises can do. And what you might find, for those of you who've been around for a while, as we go through these exercises, they may look incredibly familiar. And the things that we've talked about in Joyful Joints is understanding how to get things moving, now come into practice in this specific set of exercises. So to get started, right? Week 1, we sit. So just be sitting in your chair. I am using my Kindle version of Your Hands Can Heal You, so that I'm going to go through the exercises exactly in the order that they're presented here. Okay? So exercise number 1 is eye rotations. Eye rotations. So these exercises, we know how to move our eyes, right? So we stretch our eyes up as high as we can. And we're going to follow clockwise. So from up to the right, and then down, and then to the left, and then up. Okay? We do 12 of those to the right and 12 to the left. But today we're going to slow down and maybe not do all of the exercises. Now let's talk about them. So what's important for us from a point of view of joyful joints is to recognize what is the limit that I can stretch my eyes up and I still am functioning there. I'm not getting a headache. My eyes aren't blinking. I didn't tip my head back. I usually tip my head back because I want to stretch my eyes higher. And then how smoothly can we move our eyes to the side? How smoothly can they swing to the bottom? How smoothly can they go to the side, the other side, and then smoothly up? So as I'm using my finger to help me smooth out those circles that are going up and to the right. And progression-wise, my finger might move further. I might make a bigger circle. I might start to make faster circle. And I'm noticing, goodness gracious, when I work in this quadrant from the left to the top, man, there's a lot of muscle strain going on there. So I'm going to pause for a second, and I'm just going to play around there and see if I can get that to calm down a little bit. Yes. And then maybe we progress to taking our finger away and seeing if our eyes can go around smoothly without the focal point. Woo! So that was about 8, nice and slow, but we worked on it, and I definitely feel like there was some movement going on, some strain going on up in that quadrant for sure. After we do 12 to the right, we do 12 to the left. So let's go ahead, joyful joints people. We know we want to work both sides of our body, so take your other hand as the focal point, stretching from the top. Go super slow on round 1. Over to the left, down to the bottom, over to the right, and back up to the top. Okay? So we're just noticing. How smoothly are my eyes going? How clear does my finger look? How clear is my vision as I'm focusing on this focal point? How big is my circle? Are parts of the circle more challenging or feel the strain more than others? What if I take my finger away but my eyes keep going? Can they go as smoothly? Can I focus on things that are further away as I go around? Very good. And then relax and blink those eyes, okay? So that was exercise number 1, eye rotations. Next one is neck. And by the way, if we get to our 30-minute time limit and we haven't made it through all the exercises, we'll come back next week and start from there. We'll do a review and then continue through the exercises. Next one is neck rotations. So what do we know about turning our head from side to side? That we need to have our head, let me turn, our ears, the holes of our ears should align over our shoulders. Our throat should be drawn back so our neck is nice and tall. The crown of our head is reaching for the sky. So we can imagine being suspended by our crown and drawn up in that direction. We also keep our throat very strongly pulling back toward the back of the neck. Our shoulders relax because they have nothing to do with our neck getting tall. Even though some of us at this point, we're still connected, right? Our head moves, our shoulders want to go with it. Very inefficient, very compensating movement pattern. So when we do neck rotations and we're tense in our shoulders, it's not as helpful. It's not as efficient. So throat is back, the crown is rising, and hello to all of you who are live here for our applied joyful joints. Here we go. Turning our head in one direction. Is your throat still strong? Are your shoulders still relaxed? Is your crown still connected? Come back to the center. Other way, turn. Pause for a moment. The shoulders relaxed, the throat back, the crown elevated. Be careful that your chin didn't pop out. See what happens? My throat expands, my neck punches. Now I can't turn my head very well. Okay, throat in, pull it, turn it. Good job. And we go, side. What if we add? What do we know? If we add our eyes, reach with your eyes in the direction of the turn, you might be able to go a little further. And in the other direction. Reach with those eyes. As you reach and you keep your throat and your crown and your shoulders, I might be able to go a little further. And so then we just play around with our speed. We play around with our range of motion. Even in the book, Your Hands Can Heal You, these are called smooth and gentle. We should be doing the exercises smooth and gentle. And what's our rule in Joyful Joints? The intensity level of our exercises should be 3 or lower on a scale to 10. Smooth and gentle, but with really good awareness of doing it properly. So that is neck rotations, and you would do 12 in each direction. Then it asks us to move our head up and down 12 times, okay? So the same idea of keeping my throat. I'm moving my head to look up, and what I don't want to do is let my chin and throat travel forward. Notice how that pinched the back of my neck. So I want to keep connected, try to flow up and back with my head. And then if we want to be even more efficient, sit against the back of the chair so your ribs don't move. There goes my head back or up, and then we tip our head, our face down. Now, what can happen here when we go forward? Our chin can drop down toward the center of our chest. So once again, I'm getting a lot of strain in my neck, and I'm really falling off of one vertebra instead of letting my entire neck, all 7 vertebrae in my neck, participate in this tip downward. So the crown is lifted and back and lifted and forward. What do we know about our eyes? They can help us. So as my head goes back, I'm going to look up. Look up, 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 and all of a sudden it might be a little easier. Bring it to neutral. Now look down to tip the head forward. You might feel a stretch all the way down past your neck and into the middle of your back, into your back heart. That's part of the game here. Here we go, back and forward. And the magic number doing these cleansing physical exercises from Your Hands Can Heal You is 12. But today, we're understanding, so we may not go all the way to 12. All right, good job. So that was number 1 and number 2. Here we go. Number 3 is called shoulder rotations. Shoulder rotations. So we're going to reach our arms out to the sides. Yes. And we're going to do the, sorry, I keep seeing myself in the video and I still see that I've got some tension in one side of my neck that I want to work on. So we're going to see if we can make that happen. Take your thumbs and rotate them backward. Good. And then begin circling your arms without letting your chest move, without letting your head be moving. Stabilize, get tall. And then isolate the movement of the upper arm bone. Ideally, we're throwing our thumbs way back. Now, I am integrating something I learned from the Egoscue method of moving, which is this thumb position and rotating it backwards as we do backward circles. So how many? It's 12. Now, this can progress. What other ways could we do? If this is uncomfortable for your arms, place your hands on the shoulders and work by moving the elbows in a circle. This is another option because we want to isolate movement of this long arm bone at the shoulder with the shoulder girdle remaining stable. It's very, very important. You might also consider the armpit, letting it relax and open, because a lot of times we lock that down and that causes a lot of compensating movement patterns, which will affect our neck and shoulder health. Now, the same thing forward. So if it's arms out to the side, your thumbs are pointed forward, we pull those back, we stabilize, everything except the arms. Now, how do we progress that a little bit? We go faster. And that makes us try to hold still more. Try to hold still more. Good. And then those could also be the hands on the shoulders. And this is just isolating. So I'm taking out the lower part of my arm. I'm making my arm shorter. And for some, this is actually very difficult to get those elbows to come up and close together. Yes. Wonderful job. So that is 12 circles of the shoulders backwards, 12 circles forward. So it doesn't have to be the full straight arm throwing it around. There's a lot that can go wrong in that. So in what we're learning in Joyful Joints is, okay, let me make sure that the basic, the fundamental part of arm circles, which is this bone moving, yes, is appropriate and healthy. Got it? Okay, good job. That was number 3. Number 4 is wrist rotations. Wrist rotations. So you stretch the arms forward, bend, make sure you can bend at the wrist, and make sure you can bend at the wrist. And then the circle of the wrist should go through both of those positions. It should both meet at the top with your palms facing out and at the bottom with your palms facing in. A lot of times I see people try to do wrist rotations and their arm is spinning. Now it's no longer the same exercise. Stabilize, circle those hands outward for 12 and then inward for 12. Yes, and notice. Now, I have a little trick. You guys want to see the trick? I'm going to run into my closet full of tricks. Just a moment. Cool. Do you have any tennis players out there? Tennis players? I just grabbed a couple of tennis balls to help us learn how to do these circles. So if you take the tennis ball and hold it in your palm, and then we go here, now you're trying to make the ball move in a circle. So you want to look at this ball and make sure it's a full circle and that we're not spinning our hands around and doing figure eights and then reverse, do it the other way. A lot of times people, it's really tricky to get the ball all the way up here at the top. We'll bend our elbows and compensate, but we need this strength as well. So round and round go the tennis balls, and that will also help to keep your hands facing in the right direction. It takes, actually, the other compensation that you might be on the lookout for is your fingers start to do it. See the difference? This is my wrist, this is my fingers. And that means we've really lost communication between our brain and our forearm, our wrist hand. It becomes very, very weak. It becomes very difficult to move. And then every time you try to use it for support, it hurts. And then you're unable to use your arms support to build strength in your arms and your chest. There's a lot of things that keeping our wrist active is very helpful for. All right, the next one, number 5 is called hand looseners. And again, I'm reading directly from Your Hands Can Heal You here, cleansing physical exercises. Hand looseners. So again, we're going to stretch our arms completely. And we open our hands as big as we can and then close them together. We open and we close. Good. We open and close. Open and close. Open and close. Good. And this is really feeling like the palm is stretching and that the fingers are separating from one another. Yes. It's really that extension. And if you bend your wrists back just a little bit, it's even more effective than keeping our hands kind of down here. Yeah, bend those wrists back. This is something my friends in the rock climbing world taught me, that you are, when you're rock climbing, your hands are very often in this right gripping position. And I realized that's what we do mostly in life even, right? It just shows up more if you're rock climbing and hanging on things. But then to practice always the other side, right? We talk about that on all of our joints. So to put some elastic and try to stretch it and feel the muscles on the back of the hand getting stronger with that extension. So it's 12 finger stretches or hand stretches, okay? Next up, number 6, torso twist. What do you think this is gonna look like, Joyful Joints people? Working on rotating the upper back. right? So torso twist is just turning your body from side to side, and it's 12. Now, we've done a lot of work for this, so we're gonna stabilize, we're gonna think of stabilizing, and today, let's have this be the entire spine in the spiral. So our lower torso we worked on last month, it's stable, and then every single vertebra up your spine, remember there's 26, 27, there's a bunch. And every single one of them gets to play a part in the rotation, right? What's the compensating pattern? That sometimes the lower part gets locked, and then the next one where the rib cage meets goes too much. And by moving too much, it starts to get torn up, okay? Or I'm very tight in my chest and I stay rounded, so it's not really moving. So then my lower back is getting torqued. There's lots of ways that can happen. So how are we gonna work it? We're gonna place our hands on our heart. Place our hands on our heart so that they don't move. And we're gonna turn to the right. Once we get to the right, I want you to stabilize your torso, turn your eyes further, turn your head further, and connect your crown to the ceiling. Keep your lower torso, your tushy, connected to the chair, not moving, not wiggling, while your crown stays connected. And then think about each vertebra from the bottom to the top and let them all go. Woo-wee! That's something. Let's go the other direction. Rotate. So number one, anchor the pelvis. Do not let those sits bones wiggle in your chair. Anchor the crown to the sky. Then ask for a little more with your eyes turning, your head turning, your body growing taller, your anchor getting stronger. Don't let it come with you. That's it. You might breathe a little bit in this too. And then come back to the center. Now, intensity level 3 out of 10. Maybe I went past it, but I went past it because it was willing. I didn't say force it. I said, well, what if I just added a little more oomph? Will it go? And it went easily. So here we go. Eyes, head, anchor, down and up. Imagine all the vertebrae having a roll. Can you identify ones that don't want to come with you? Pull your navel back and in. That might help. And release. Other direction. Rotate. Reach with the eyes. Anchor. Down and up. Imagine all the vertebrae. Oh, there we go. I forgot to do that the last time. And guess what? I was holding. I was tense. Didn't want to go. And return back to the center. So then we might only do 3 of those instead of the recommended 12 because we're doing it on such a deep awareness level. But then once we get that going, we can play with, okay, so if I were to speed up a little bit, what happens? Why did I put your hands here? Because one of the things that drives me a little bit nuts as a movement teacher is to see people doing this and throwing their arms from side to side and pretending like it's a torso twist. Yeah, I still have irritation over that because it's not doing what you want. There's something that you desperately want in your body, but we're not letting it happen because we haven't had the opportunity to go deep enough to understand. Does that make sense to you? So I have to take my arms out of the ball game because that's a very, very common compensation to figure out, oh, it's my chest, it's my spine that's rotating. Now, one thing you might also notice, sometimes we like to pop our ribs sideways in the direction of the twist, and that cramps up our back. So if when you're doing these spinal rotations, you start to feel cramped in your lower back, then maybe sit back a little bit into your lower torso. And again, this was the topic of the last couple of months when we did upper and lower torso work. So you could go back to those classes and then come back to a freer version. Remember, when we're solid, we can be free. And now my rotation feels lovely and it's initiated from my spine. I'm not throwing my arms. They just happen to be attached to me. Yeah. And then I could even let them go further at the end. Now I've got some other kind of rotational look. Okay? So that's how we grow these movements from time to time. You know what? we're just about at our half-hour mark, which is amazing. And we did the exercises from top to the middle. From here, we go to the lower exercises. So let's save those for next week when we're doing our standing work, and we'll review the upper body at that point. What I'd like for you to do right now, close your eyes. And I just want you to be aware of the inside of your body. Be aware of the top half of your body, the part that has been moved, the part that did the cleansing physical exercises. And then be aware of the lower half of your body, from your navel down, the part that didn't really move. Is there a difference in what it feels like on the inside? It's okay if the answer is no, but we'd like for you to start to notice, like, wow, for me personally, I'm feeling like a buzz from my navel upward. I feel like a buzz, awake and alive, like a good buzz. And the lower part of my body kind of still feels like cement, like it's just like blah, laying there. And it really wants to do the cleansing as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that after the class ends to make sure we're all in work together. But that's what can happen. And perhaps this is a good time for you to go back to one of your challenging movements where you often feel tight or tense and check and see, does it feel better? Maybe you check in with your stress level, your anxiety level. After doing the upper half of our cleansing physical exercises, do you feel calmer? Do you feel more at peace? Do you feel more alert, ready to go? Yeah. And I would love to hear some of those words. You know, we all have different words that we use, and I'd like for you to start sharing more of those with us. Become a subscriber and put them in the chat so that we can see what's going on in real time. And that is a great way for us to, help other people. Help other people recognize that, oh yeah, every time I do that arm circle, it hurts. Well, if we say that every time we do the arm circle, then we're going to make that happen. We can create that condition. But if we're open to say, let me just see this time. And you know what? Yes, I observed that I still felt discomfort in my shoulder. But keep doing this, especially if you notice, let's say, when I did my head turn, I noticed it went further and it felt more comfortable. Then maybe in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months of continued practice, we'll notice a disappearance of discomfort. If we stop calling it in verbally every single time, maybe it'll get the hint and it'll dissipate. Now, it won't just dissipate by not saying it. We also have to do something maybe. So keep up the practice. Keep going back to your original classes. And I have a challenge for you for April. So our April challenge is, how do we be less fooled in the world? How do we be less susceptible to schemes, to brainwashing? You know, it's something we talk about a lot. We've got all this information, all this social media, all this advertising that's trying to get us to do something. Okay? If you're trying to get you to do something that's good for you, well, then don't be mad at them for trying. And how do we know that it's good for us? We do some experimentation. We say, all right, that's what you say. Let me try a little bit of that. If it works, I will take it as truth and I will adapt it into my schedule. So I would like for you to take the experiment of these cleansing physical exercises this month and practice them somehow every single day. By the end of the month, let's see what's happened. Has our energy been affected in any way? Are we floating on air, feeling much less tired throughout the day? I'm not going to give you an elixir that means you don't need to sleep. That's not the point. The point is we can handle everything we're doing. When we rest, it's more efficient and effective. So we wake up feeling ready to go and restored. Okay? Anybody up for that experiment? I'd love to hear about it. This week, cleansing physical exercises. Again, the book is Your Hands Can Heal You. You can find it on Kindle. You can also order a physical copy. Yeah. And then this is if you're interested in learning more about what's behind that. You got it? All right. You guys are amazing. It was great to see you. We will see you again next week. April Joyful Joints applied. Bye, guys.